Ayo, and we're live with Daniel 11. Let's get right into it, fam. Okay. I think I'm on 11, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just check the books here. Daniel, 11. Okay. Also, I, in the first year of Darius the Mede, even I stood to confirm and to strengthen him. To strengthen King Darius? That's interesting. And now I will show thee the truth. Behold, there shall stand up yet 3 kings in Persia, and the 4th shall be far richer than they all. And by his strength, through his riches, he shall stir up all against the realm of Grecia. And a mighty king shall stand up that shall rule with great dominion, and do according to his will. And when he shall stand up, his kingdom shall be broken, and shall be divided toward the 4 winds of heaven, and not to his posterity, nor according to his dominion which he ruled, for his kingdom shall be plucked up even for others besides those. And the king of the south shall be strong, and one of his princes, and he shall be strong above him, and have dominion. His dominion shall be a great dominion. And in the end of years they shall join themselves together, for the king's daughter of the south shall come to the king of the north to make an agreement. Interesting. But she shall not retain the power of the arm, neither shall he stand, nor his arm, but she shall be given up. And they that brought her, and he that begat her, and he that strengthened her in these times. I'm curious to how this relates with history. So this is prophecy about some historical time that's history for us, but not history for Daniel at the time. He's predicting things. But out of the branch of her root shall one stand up in his estate, which shall come with an army, and shall enter into the fortress of the kings of the north, and shall deal against them, and shall prevail, and shall also carry captives into Egypt their gods, with their princes, and with their precious vessels of silver and gold, and he shall continue more years than the king of the north. So the king of the south shall come into his kingdom. I gotta look at what this actually means in a second. And shall return into his own land, but his son shall be stirred up, and shall assemble a multitude of great forces, and one shall certainly come, and overflow, and pass through. Then shall he return, and be stirred up, even to his fortress. And the king of the south shall be moved with choler, and shall come forth and fight with him, even with the king of the north. And he shall set forth a great multitude. But the multitude shall be given into his hand. And when he hath taken away the multitude, his heart shall be lifted up, and he shall cast down many 10,000, but he shall not be strengthened by it. For the king of the north shall return, and shall set forth a multitude greater than the former, and shall certainly come after certain years, with a great army, and with much riches. And in those times there shall many stand up against the king of the south. Also the robbers of thy people shall exalt themselves to establish the vision, but they shall fall. So the king of the north shall come and cast up a mount, and take the most fenced cities. And the arms of the south shall not withstand, neither his chosen people, neither shall there be any strength to withstand. But he that cometh against him shall do according to his own will, and none shall stand before him. And he shall stand in the glorious land, which by his hand shall be consumed. He shall also set his face to enter with the strength of his whole kingdom, and upright ones with him. Thus shall he do, and he shall give him the daughter of women, corrupting her, but she shall not stand on his side, neither be for him. After this shall he turn his face unto the isles, and shall take many. But a prince for his own behalf shall cause the reproach offered by him to cease. Without his own reproach he shall cause it to turn upon him. Then he shall turn his face toward the fort of his own land, but he shall stumble and fall and not be found. Okay, I gotta look this up. Daniel 11 got questions. Who's the king of the south? In the chapters leading up to Daniel 11, God reveals that Israel will be restored. However, he also tells Daniel of the time of great trouble for Israel. The time predicted in Daniel 11 took place during what is known as the intertestamental period, the roughly 400 years between the close of the Old Testament and the beginning of the New. There were no canonical books written during this period, but the apocryphal books of 1 and 2 Maccabees record the history of the time period. The information in Daniel 11 is so accurate that secular scholars insist that it must be prophecy ex eventu, that is prophecy after the fact. Okay, that's interesting, because I was thinking about this. Since it's so accurate, it would either have to be prophecy from God or written later on, and they just said it was written during this time period. So certain scholars are so concerned by this text of Daniel that they claim that it's ex eventu, saying pretty much it's not prophecy. Like it's like it raining today, and tomorrow I say that 2 days ago I predicted rain today, but I wrote it tomorrow, which means I would have known, so it's not prophecy because it was written the day after it rained instead of before, like I'm claiming. Indeed, apart from God's omniscience and his ability to reveal the future to his prophets, this would be the only rational conclusion. Yeah, indeed. That would be the only rational conclusion apart from God being all-powerful and able to reveal the future to his prophets. Daniel 11 starts with a mighty Greek king whose kingdom will be scattered to the four winds. All agree that this is Alexander the Great, as I kind of assume myself. He died in 323 BC during the prime of life, and his empire was divided among his generals who claimed parts for themselves. One of the generals, Ptolemy, took an area to the south of Israel that included Egypt. Another general, Seleucus, took control of an area to the north of Israel that included Syria. Daniel 11 covers hundreds of years, so the kings of the north and south are not single individuals, but rather the rulers of the Ptolemaic dynasty, and the Seleucid dynasty. These two dynasties were hostile towards each other, and Israel was literally caught in the middle. The king of the south is the Greek king of Egypt, of the Ptolemaic dynasty. Daniel 5:6, the king of the south will become strong, but one of his commanders will be even stronger than he, will rule his kingdom with great power. After some years, they will become like allies. The daughter of the king of the south will go to the king of the north to make an alliance, but she will not retain her power. His power will not last. In those days, she will be handed over together as court. Fulfillment. At first, the Seleucid king in Syria had been a subject of Ptolemy. How do I pronounce Ptolemy? Ptolemy. Okay, with the T. Subject of Ptolemy in Egypt, but in time he actually became more powerful. Therefore, the king of the south proposed a marriage alliance to unite kingdoms. Princess Berenice from the south married the Seleucid king, and a child was born. However, the king died suddenly, and the wife and child were murdered in 246 BC. Instead of a sealing alliance, this started a war. Daniel 11:7-10. From her family, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Fulfillment. Princess Berenice's brother, the king of Egypt, carried out a successful campaign. Later, the Syrian kingdom tried to retaliate and even attempted to invade Egypt. Interesting. King of the south will march in rage. Syria was defeated by Egypt. The Greek Egyptian king from the south slaughtered 20% of the Syrian force. The victory was short-lived as Syria invaded again with a bigger force and was successful. Israel initially under a more tolerable rule of the Ptolemaic kings of the south. The Syrian victory, Israel passed under the control of the Seleucid king of the north in 200 BC. Okay, so it wasn't a completely silent period. Prophecies were made of this time, so there is knowledge about it. I can highlight again. That's great. Then to him shall turn his face toward the fort of his own land, but he shall stumble and fall and not be found. Then shall stand up in his estate a raiser of taxes in the glory of the kingdom, but within a few days he shall be destroyed, neither in anger nor in battle, and in his estate shall stand up a vile person, to whom they shall not give the honor of the kingdom, but he shall come in peaceably, and obtain the kingdom by flatteries. And with the arms of a flood shall they be overflown from before him, and shall be broken, yea, also the prince of the covenant. And after the league made with him he shall work deceitfully, for he shall come up and shall become strong with a small people. He shall enter peaceably, even upon the fattest places of the province. He shall do that which his fathers have not done, nor his fathers' fathers. He shall scatter among them the prey and spoil. He shall scatter among them the prey and spoil and riches, yea, and he shall forecast his devices against the strongholds. Okay. He shall stir up. Sorry, I'm just getting a little bit. It's hard for me to understand exactly what's happening. I know it's like prophecy that eventually does happen. So it's amazing in a way, but because I don't understand exactly what time period it's referring to, it's not that interesting. Sharp his power and his courage against the king of the south with a great army, and the king of the south shall be stirred up to battle with a very great and mighty army. But he shall not stand, for they shall forecast devices against him. Yea, they that feed of the portion of his meat shall destroy him, and his army shall overflow, and many shall fall down slain. And both these kings' hearts shall be... How much more of this? Oh my God. Shall be mischief, but there shall be lies at the table, and shall not prosper. The end shall be at the time appointed. I'm going to read quicker. He return into his land with great riches, and it shall be against the holy covenant, and shall do exploits and return to his own land. At the time appointed he shall return, come toward the south, but it shall not be as the former or as the latter. For the test of Chittim shall come against them. Therefore he shall be grieved and return and have indignation against the holy covenant. So shall he do. He shall even return and have intelligence with them that forsake the covenant. Arms shall stand in the part, and they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength, and take away the daily sacrifice, and shall place the abomination that make desolate. So this is where Israel, I guess, is having a rough time that they were saying. And such as do wickedly against the covenant, he shall corrupt by flatteries. But the people that know their God shall be strong and do exploits, and they that understand among the people shall instruct many. Yet they shall fall by the sword, and by the flame, and captivity, and by the spoil many days. Now when they shall fall, there shall be holpen with a little help, and shall cleave to them with flatteries, and some of them understanding shall fall and try, and to purge, and to make them white, even to the time of the end, because it is yet for a time appointed. And the king shall do according to his will, and shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god, and shall speak marvelous things against the God of gods, and shall prosper till the indignation be accomplished, for that is determined shall be done. Neither shall he regard with the God of fathers, nor desire of women, nor regard any god, for he shall magnify himself above all. But in his estate shall he honor the God of forces, and a God whom his fathers knew not shall he honor with gold and silver and precious stones and pleasant things. Thus shall he do in the most strong holds with a strange God, whom he shall acknowledge and increase with glory, and shall cause them to rule over many, and shall divide the land for gain. At the time of the end shall the king of the south push at him, and the king of the north shall come against him like a whirlwind with chariots and horsemen and with many ships, and shall enter into the countries, and shall overflow and pass over. He shall enter also in the glorious land, and many countries shall be overthrown. But these escapes of his hand, even Edom and Moab, and the chief of the children of Ammon. He shall stretch forth his hand also upon the countries, and the land of Egypt shall not escape. But he shall have power over the treasures of gold and silver, and the precious things of Egypt, and Libyans and Ethiopians shall be at his steps. But tidings out of the east and out of the north shall trouble him. Therefore he shall go forth with great fury to destroy, and utterly make away many. And he shall plant the tabernacles of his palace between the seas of the glorious holy mountain, and shall come to his end, and none shall help him. Okay, fantastic. Not really fantastic. Okay, is this one a long one too? All right. And at the time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book, and every one that shall be found written in the book. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting corruption. Very interesting. It's about heaven. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words, and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. Then I, Daniel, looked, and behold, there stood other two, the one on this side of the bank of the river, and the other on that side of the bank of the river. And one said to the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, How long shall it be to the end of these wonders? And I heard the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river. And when he held up his right hand and his left hand unto heaven, and sware by him that liveth for ever that it shall be for a time, times and a half. And when he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people, all these things shall be finished. And I heard, but I understood not. Then said I, O my Lord, what shall be at the end of these things? And he said, Go thy way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed to the time of the end. Many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. But from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that maketh desolate set up, there shall be, and the abomination that maketh desolate set up, there shall be 1,290 days. 1,290 days. Blessed is he that waiteth and cometh to the 1,330 days. But thou go thy way till the end be, for thou shalt rest and stand in thy lot at the end of the days. I gotta look this up now. Daniel 12 got questions. Witnesses prophesy for 1,000 clothed in sackcloth. Deal with the specific time periods associated with the 7-year tribulation. Oh, so this is end times. 2 segments of tribulation. The prince who is to come will confirm a covenant with many for 1 7. In the middle of the 7, he will put an end to the sacrifice and offering. The prince who is to come, the Antichrist, the beast of Revelation. Okay, so Revelation type stuff. Very interesting. Okay, that's it for today. God bless you all abundantly. God bless me abundantly, and God willing, we'll be together soon in Jesus' name. Forgive me, Lord, forgive you all for our sins. In Jesus' name, amen.